Hi everyone, my name is Vukile Moya. I'm born and raised Walanga. I'm a singer, songwriter, a performing artist. So I'm a graduate of British music. Yeah, so I wear different hats. But yeah, so I met with obviously at British music. So I remember this day, yeah, well, we were, when I was going to a studio session, and I don't know how that conversation linked, but also now it happens to know Ulugo. So we both were going to Ulugo, but we ended up not finding Ulugo, you understand? And, I think that's where my frustration was, is to, been knocking on this door, I love the sound, but nothing really happens. Yeah, but there's no product that's get taken out. Yeah, but so I think obviously he felt my pain, and he had this idea of creating his own studio. With the little equipment he had, he was offering help, and I think that's something that really also touched my heart to say, okay, now I have support. No more struggles. So look, yeah, but also I think the next time I also, so we talked about it and saying, okay, he'll help me to write songs, because he understands my sound and he feels like he can contribute, a thing or two. So we've been really working on that, and it's been really a fruitful journey. And yeah, so I think the other day, I think we went to studio was when I met with his cousin Yon. So I'm really someone who's really talkative, So I was like, yeah, Bridges, and I just came out from Atlantic, and then boom, I saw this guy with studio equipment, mics, and I'm like, oh, that's the shit. Yeah, well, I go and introduce myself. So, and it happens that this is with his cousin. I'm like, what the fuck is going on now? I'm upset. Like, it feels like it's a really small world, and when something is really meant to be, it's really meant to be. So, and then we ended up the other day going to the studio all together, and boom, load shedding. So we could not work because it was load shedding. And yeah, so yeah, but there has been that consistency of us having to wanting to support each other. Yeah, well, but one thing I love about Movies is consistency and support. I feel like he's really professional in the way he carries himself, and there's people who have dreams and there's people who act on their dreams. We have dreams, and then we make them reality, and I think that's where he's going. I look up to him in those qualities. He possesses great qualities, and with the little equipment he has, he produces great music, and when I was at studio with him, it was really free to like work with him. Some producers wanted to do the certain things and certain things, but with them, and they kind of like understand that sometimes say a thing or two, let me be, and when you see that I'm getting frustrated, try and help me to go, you understand, and rather and then support me, and then we go back into creating the song and be creative around it. I think what I learned was to how to build a song, and building more in time. That's something I just saying from my feeling, but structuring ingoma was really important, and that's something that's really important. How do you build ingoma? How do you make sure that someone repeats ingoma? You understand? So the importance of having your hook, the right hook, because I can sing, I sing, my heart out, but I sometimes think singing enough, that's enough, but also songwriting, that's really something I didn't look up to, but it's something that he really loves doing. So I think, yeah, he's a beautiful songwriter. He's a beautiful yeah, so he can take an artist, hear you, and then he'd say, okay, how about you try the sound? And I think that's something that really he possesses, like good quality of supporting a band, and he can make a good talent scout. Yeah. So, and I want him to have the best studio equipment, because for what he has shown with the little equipment he has, that he wants to be there for people, and he has this vision that he wants to carry people's dreams and make them a reality. And but the only thing could be, or maybe the studio not being at the level where he wants to the studio to be. So yeah, so I think we are, you know, we are carrying a leader, and who really feels the pain of different artists. I think like what we go through as artists is really painful, where we don't have access to studios. Firstly, if we have access to studios, it's always about time, and having to rehearse in the studio, having to write in the studio, and to run out of time. And sometimes money is also a problem. And I think with his strategy, I think, a lot of artists can actually make their dreams a reality, because sometimes, and also considering the mental health, it also will decrease the mental health, because it's not nice sitting at home, and having all these ideas, because songs come in our head, we bless differently, someone who really connects spiritually with him. And so sometimes it really does frustrate me of having a sound, but not having to be able to produce a sound, you understand, of having a song and not really having to be able to produce. And also, one of the things I think I also took away from them was the importance of having a home studio. You understand? I think, as artists, we should have at least a laptop and a mic. And then we go and when we write that idea, then we go to professional people like who obviously with the better sound, who can actually enhance the idea, and play around with the idea and have, and then it can have, source and support. So I think that's something, and we also spoke about it, and we also said, so we were talking about prizes and stuff like that. But it's something I really want for myself. Just a very small one, so that I can be able to, when I get to the studio, they could not see like galley pants, but at least we could build up. But because I think with the vision he has, he's gonna have a lot of people who would want his services, and and if you can just have the right studio, because right now he wants to help, but is the equipment enough to help? No, it's not enough. The passion is there, the dream is there to do it, and he goes with the capacity now. But I feel like if there could be more doors opening, like we can make this a reality, make it happen for everyone. But thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, yes.